So 24 hours later, I'm 24 hours later than I was when I wanted to get this done, and life has been crazy. Crazy, 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 crazy. But in any case, good evening, good afternoon. Hello, 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 everybody. So if you're watching this in a replay, put hashtag replay. But those of you who can join me, come on and join me, and let's talk about social media awesomeness. Let's talk about what does your social media look like, okay? Because I've been doing this presentation for a while now, and it's never been more relevant than right now when everybody's trying to get online to do what we do on social media. So, social media awesomeness is about being awesome on social media. I can already tell you some of this information is already out of date because social media is like that. Like nothing sticks for too long. So, it's important for you to apply this information as we are given it, and then a month from now it may be outdated. So I'm putting my disclaimer: if something is not up to par right now, that's because things have changed since I created this presentation. But I want to tell you about social media and want to see if I can help you guys get a little bit more comfortable with it. Social media awesomeness looks at the major social media platforms, and no, I have not added TikTok to this, but we can talk about TikTok too. So here we go. So these are the objectives. This is what we're going to talk about: Googling yourself, kicking off your brand, social media mistakes. We're going to talk about Twitter, Pinterest, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. Periscope is still out there, and YouTube. We're also going to talk about blogging. So let's go. So let me ask you something. What do you sell? Like, think about what you sell, because that's important. Because depending on what you sell will depend on what you do with it, right? If people know, like, and trust you, like you have customers, then you have to think from your customer's perspective when you're talking about social media. Where will they find out about you? That's what you have to look at. It can't not be about what I'm comfortable with. I already have a Facebook page, yada, 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 yada. It can't be any of that stuff there. This is all about your customer and where will they find you? Where would they find out that you exist? That's what this is about. So therefore, I want you to be thinking about where will your customer get information about what you do. Think broader than from you. Think broader than word of mouth. Think about where can they find out about somebody like me. Like, do they look at the newspaper? Do they have an online news lead? Do they get uh, information on Facebook? Do they get information on social media? Do they Google their information? Do they get their leads or their information from a newspaper source? And if so, what newspaper is that? Is it paper or is it online? So now that we're in an online era, in order to be successful at social media, you have to consider where will your customers learn about you. What does that look like? Have you ever Googled yourself? If you've not, you should do that. You should Google yourself to see what social media is saying about you. I had a 40-year-old engineer, chemical engineer, who had a wonderful resume. In fact, he had hired me to make his resume look pretty. And he was wondering why he couldn't get promoted. Like, he had all the credentials, he had all the education, he had been working as a trainer on his job for a number of years. And anytime they hired new people, they always put them under him for him to train. And he was wondering, well, they keep using me, but they won't promote me to team lead. They won't promote me to supervisor or manager. And so I went and took a look at his social media because I look at all my resume candidates. I go and look at their social media because a lot of times it's not what's on the resume that keeps them from getting the job. It's what's out on social media. People can Google you. So that's for you need to Google yourself to see what is being said about you. And if you own a business, it pays you to also look at Yelp and look at Travel Advisor because people put information out there too. And this will give you an opportunity to address any negativity, somebody may have said or put out there. I want to say it was in June, a young lady in another city, state that never knew me, never did business with me, but she came on one of my Facebook ads, and she wrote this long dissertation about nothing. I mean, it was really, really about her just keying 4,000 words in Facebook. Had nothing to do with my service, had nothing to do with my ad. And when I asked her if I knew her, because I inboxed her and said, "Do I know you? Because I can't find your name in my records as a customer." And she said, "No, you don't know me, but I did this because your ad appeared on my timeline." I was like, "Okay, yeah, you just got reported and blocked." She got reported, she got blocked, you know. But people do all kind of crazy things. They do. So if you're out here, you need to know what people are saying about you so you could pull it down. I had another guy to say that I was a sham, and so he posted, "This is probably a sham," and it was on an ad. He said, "Nobody's doing this for people. This is a sham. This is a sham." And so you have to know what's out there so you can combat it quickly. The best thing to do when somebody puts something negative on your post is to delete and block, right? Because very rarely do they come back anyway. But you delete it and block it. If they are a customer, if they're a customer of yours, and that's very different. That means that they're giving you an insight on something you may not be aware of, and in that case, you take what they've given you uh, with a grain of salt, but still you look to see if it's true, because you want to make certain that if they've shown you a blind spot that you didn't see, that you fix that immediately. So therefore, if it's from a customer, you're going to handle it very different than if it's from any Joe Blow, anybody out there that hasn't done business with you. Also, create a presence. So you'll notice that you see me in, like, I was in the New York Post uh, a couple of months back, I think it was, and I've been in Amazon's, not Amazon. I've been in American Express Business Forum. I've been in Prevention Magazine. They did a whole spread. I've been in Edge Magazine here locally. I've been in the Chattanooga Times a couple of weeks ago. You get to see, if you go subscribe to a reporter, helpareporterout.com, and it's not helpareporterout.com anymore. Right now it's helpareporter.com. But if you go there, then you'll see that we're in a less than 24-hour news cycle, and so the major networks and newspapers and magazines and anywhere that the content is being gathered, they are constantly looking for information, constantly looking for stories to put on TV or in their website or even in the newspaper. And so for that reason, you can go to helpareporter.com, and you'll see them make their posts. And if it's something that is relevant to what you do, then you can go and your name will appear in that post. The point above that is the second page of Google. And they say if you want to keep something hidden, put it on the second page of Google. And what I try to do to stay relevant nationwide is I try to make sure at least once or twice a month that I have a story out there, an article out there that has my name for a quote, or sometimes they even do an article on me. The Chicago Tribune did an article on me, so that you can think about how you want to appear, and do you want to appear bigger than just where you are. So go to helpareporter.com and create an account and start finding who's looking for your story, and put your story about you and your business out there. PR Leads is a paid service that I tried at one point. I didn't keep them because I kept them for 6 months just to try it, but I found that I was getting more hits with the Help a Reporter than I was paying them $99 a month. So I decided to cancel PR Leads. He's a good guy though. He is a good guy. He's a very nice guy. His name is Dan, but I didn't need his services because I was able to do what he was charging me for. I was able to do that myself. So I have that there. If you want a paid service and somebody to guide you through it, then definitely Dan is the person for that. But again, you can do it yourself with helpareporter.com. Also, um, subject matter expert. Subject matter expert is what you want to be. And when people can Google your name and see stories about you and see articles and quotes and things out there in social media that you've done, they are more likely to work with you if they've seen other people have worked with you. So you have to put your stories out there. You can't go under the radar. You have to talk about your business. You have to talk about what's going on with your company. So getting your company's name out there, getting your website's name out there, getting your name out there will help build your credibility in the social media streets, right? People consider that is doing your due diligence by making sure that people can find out information about you. Because anytime I've listened to Steve and I've listened to Oprah, I've listened to some other people talk about how they find people, and they find them by Googling them, by seeing them on YouTube, by looking at their videos. People who are looking for people to put on their programs, they find them by Googling them, by trying to see what they have out there, looking at videos, and if it fits their platform, what they're doing, that's how they find them. One of my students just told us in Saturday's class that a YouTuber with 53,000 people following them just gave her biggest order ever of hand sanitizer and soap products. Found her by Googling her on YouTube and saw where she had did a video and reached out to her, sent her a check, and now she's had her biggest order. Like she had like 100 bottles of hand sanitizer. Just things like that. You have to understand that when you make a presence in social media now, it's no longer about moving in secret and the hush hush and all that. You will never be deemed a subject matter expert if you're moving in silence. Up leveling your brand. So determine what you want to accomplish. Like consider the time management of it before you go out and say, well, I got to be on TikTok, I want to be on Facebook, want to be on Pinterest, want to be in all these different places. Think about that. That's a time commitment. And you have to know something about each platform in order to expand on it, in order to grow on it. Like you don't need to be on everything that's out there. You need to be on the ones where your customers are. Where are the most customers? That's where you need to be. So think about where does my customer get their information from? That's where you need to be. You have to know your targeted market in order to be good at social media marketing. And don't try to conquer it all. It makes no sense to be on everything. So there's a rule called 70-30. And what it says is you need to be on 70% of your social media presence needs to be on the place where your customers are. But there are things like LinkedIn and Facebook that has, all these millions of people on it. So you need to have a presence on those pages, but that's 30%, right? So 30% of your social media presence should be on 30% should be on those places. Like you have to be on Facebook, you have to have a LinkedIn. But where you should be concentrating is where are your customers. That's where you want to put 70% of your social media posts. That's where you want to spend 70% of your social media time. That's where you want to invest your money on those places where your customers can find you. Get good at one or two, and don't worry about it. If somebody reaches out to you, always, 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 always respond. Respond, respond, respond. I cannot say that enough. So if somebody posts something on your page and they're asking a question, or even if they make a comment, and if it's a negative comment, depending on whether they're your customer or not, you can hide them. And then you can block that person from ever bothering you again. But if they are a customer and they have an earnest question, or just had a problem, then that's a great place to turn that situation around. Oh, my fault. This happened? Well, let me invite you to do this. Like in the case that I have wronged someone, I spend time with them. People like to spend time with me. I don't know why, but they do. And so I offer to give them a free hours consultation, or give them a free coaching session, or give them something tangible that they can use to walk forward. Give them one of my books free, or something like that. So just think about Respond, respond, respond. If you're going to be out here on social media, you must be able to respond when your customers come out, or your customers and potential customers come after you. Now, 6 social media mistakes that people make all the time. Inconsistent posting. Like you get in the habit of posting every day or every hour or every time, and then all of a sudden you go ghost. And then they don't know when they'll see you again because there's no consistency. And what that looks like to a customer is that looks like incongruency. That looks like you aren't you aren't good at what you do, and so you go hiding. They can't count on you. Keep in mind, people buy from people who they know, like, and trust. So you have to get to where they know, like, and trust you. They must be consistent. You must be consistent. They must be able to count on your consistency. So think about that. When you go ghost, make yourself do it. If because there are days I don't want to post, but I post because consistently for the last 7 years, no, for the last since 2008, I have been posting on Facebook e- every day for the last since 2008. It's very rare that I don't post anything during the day, like anything at all in a 24-hour period. But I make sure that people know that I will show up, regardless of how I feel, because it's not about me; it's about them. I've been growing my business since 2013, and so I make sure that I post something out there for my people who are following me because of my business. I need them to see that I'm alive, and plus it feeds to my website, so it keeps my website active as well. Think about people who don't know their target audience, like people who just post to anybody that's out there. You have got to get an avatar in your head of who you're talking to. And don't think of it as multiple people. I want you to narrow it down to one person and give him or her or them names. Like, who is it? I love that in one of my groups, this guy named Freddie, he's so funny. But Freddie was asked, who is his avatar? Freddie proudly stood up and said, my avatar is Gladys. Gladys is 50 years old. She's got grandkids, and she's going to buy my products because Gladys wants all her babies to know their black history. So Gladys is my number one avatar. She has the money, and what I've had to do because of Gladys is I've had to set up a way for Gladys to send her checks because Gladys does not use social media. Gladys used checks still, and so I had to set that up. He knew her intimately. Like, he talked about Gladys, so we kid him about it every day. When anybody talks about an avatar, everybody always look at Freddie and say, oh yeah, that's right, Gladys. Because he knew Gladys, like he knew where she lived, he knew what her house was like, he knew about the dollies in her living room, all the pictures on the wall. He knew all of that. You have to know your customer, at least one targeted customer, and preferably the one that's going to cut you the biggest check. You have to know who they are and where they are and how they get their information. He wouldn't dare advertise to Gladys on Facebook because he know if Gladys is out there, she's just out there. She's really not trying to find him. She's looking for him somewhere in the newspaper or on the news or on TV. So he knows that those things, and so for that reason, he is so very, very in tune with her. He sold over 200,000 at that point. He had sold over 200,000 decks of cards that were about black history to her. So think about irrelevant posting too. Some things just don't even matter, right? Some things that like so if you follow me, then you know on my business page, everything is about business. I put nothing out there unless it's about business. Now on my personal page, you might get a little bit of everything. You get comedy because I love laughing, making people laugh. I love laughing myself. You get strange stories. You get news articles. You get things that I'm passionate about. You get pictures about the yard or the house or something else that's going on. That's the personal page, and it has a plethora of information on it. But my business page, LS&B Business Solutions, is all about the business. I never post anything on there about politics, about religion, about anything other than the business. Now, I may post a scripture out there to encourage people, but for the most part, I only do business on the LS&B business page. So think about irrelevant posting. If you don't have a business page, you really need to get a business page so that people can separate the two. Like, people know me as LS&B Business Solutions, have never been on my Facebook page, my personal page. They are over on LSMB Business Solutions. They are on LinkedIn, and that's the lender they know. But the people who know me, they get to see me on my personal page, and they know it is buck wild at times. So yeah, so think about that. And don't make everything that you post on your business page, do not make everything about you. There again, you have to do the 80-20. So 80% of what you post should be you sharing information from somebody else, supporting somebody else, doing anything about anybody else but you. And then 20% of it should be you. The 20% that should be you should be about what you do and how you do it. Okay? Educating people on who you are. And then some people have like 30 pages. Lord Jesus. They got a page for this and a page for that and a page for this. When people send me multiple pages for all the different things they do, I only like one if I like the one. I will not be on everybody's page if they got 10, 11, 12 pages out there. I had one young lady, she did coaching, she did managing, she did flowers, she cooked food, she did hair, she did, she had wrote books. I mean, she was doing a lot. She had like 10 different things that she was doing. I couldn't support her in all 10 of those things because all 10 of those things, none of them were relevant to who I am and what I support. So I liked the one that she was trying to teach people how to do businesses. That's the one that I signed on for. But yeah, but think about it. Don't have too many sign-ons and too many pages on any medium. That's just not good. And then let's talk about some social media facts. So, and this may be old data. It may be even higher now. But back when I did this, Twitter, YouTube, and LinkedIn held the top spots for future plans for people who wanted to increase their visibility. Now, today, Twitter has fallen off, and you can find TikTok is where people go to get to be visible. So you think about it. People back then were trying to increase their visibility on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Again, Twitter has fallen off some, but TikTok is taking its place because people are visual, right? YouTube is still there, LinkedIn is still there. And then another thing is marketers wanted to learn more about Facebook. Like a lot of people don't even know all the different tools that come with their Facebook page. All they do is post on their page and let it sit. But there are so many algorithms and business tools. They have a whole business suite on Facebook that you probably need to go find and understand how to promote and how to promote your business. Video becomes is becoming important. Video is still important, right? And this is from 2015 when they were talking about 5 years ago that they said video was becoming important. Well, you already know video is the important thing now. If you're going to market, you need to market live. You need to have a video. You need to create a YouTube channel. You need to show people how it's done behind the scenes. You need to make them interested. Again, people are buying if they know, like, and trust you. I have people in my TSP group who's using nothing but social media, and they're raking in like $39,000 a day from their customers, selling different products. So you need to think about how can I infuse video capabilities, and it doesn't like just like this video here. It doesn't have to be your face. It can be images. I mean, they have all kind of tools. It can be video shot somewhere else and then uploaded. It doesn't have to be live video, but it needs to be where people are very visual online. And so if you're going to market to them, you need to make sure that you're marketing to them online with video. Podcast. Okay, so there's a place called Anchor. There's an app called Anchor, ANCHOR, on your phone. You can download it, and you can actually start podcasting today. Like, you can create your channel, you can put your imagery up, and you can actually start. That was the best thing I learned that a few months ago. As I started my podcast, I already have 21 episodes out there ready to go for the next 10 weeks. I added the second season of my podcast. And once those 10 weeks are gone, then I'll add the third season of my podcast. But it puts it on Spotify. Like, my granddaughter was very excited to see that her grandmother is on Spotify. My son was like, um, Mom, guess what I ran across? And he ran across one of my episodes. So yeah, so you don't. There is no reason not to have a podcast right now. No reason at all. Okay, Facebook and LinkedIn are still two of the very top two most important ones for social media marketers. And most marketers aren't sure their Facebook marketing is effective. You need to read up on that because Facebook, just when you think you have it, Facebook changes their algorithm all the time, right? And they try to change it so that Facebook can make money because they are a business. So while I understand that, it does get on my nerves that they change it. And when they have changes, we run into, like the other day, we were talking about, Laura and I were talking about all that space that's on the left side of my page some days when they, I don't know why it happens, but there are certain periods when I'm looking at Facebook, it'll have a huge left margin. I have no idea why it's doing it. But I just know it happened after they did their update about a month ago. They're always doing it, but it's a free site, so what do you do? Okay? Um, Tactics and engagement are top areas marketers must want to master, and that's where you should want to master too. How can you get the most eyes on your social media presence? You have to think about if I get in front, and it's going from marketing one to marketing one to many, and there are books about that. So you have to read up on that and find out how to get your product in front of as many people as possible. The law of averages will help you have more customers by the more people who see you that are in your niche, right? That's why it's still great to know who is your target market because when you go in front of the target market and only market to them, the chances are that your customer base will increase exponentially because the more people that see you and your fabulousness, the more people will want to buy from you. Just the law of averages. 5 questions people ask that want to do marketing. Tactics. What are social media's tactics that are most effective? Again, it's learning about algorithms, learning, understanding how algorithms work, and then learning how the current algorithm is working and how you can take advantage of that. Engagements. Now, a lot of people like likes, right? Likes are vanity engagements. What you want to do is get as many people to share and comment. Share and comments weigh a lot heavier than likes. Okay, share is the ultimate. Comments are second to that, and then likes are third if you put them in order. And then talking about measurements, like what do you measure in social media? So understanding that the things you should be looking for is the cost per click. It's called CPC. You should be looking at CTR, which is the cost, the click-through rate. Sorry, the click-through rate. If you have video, you want to see how many people watch your video in 3 seconds and how many watched it in increments over that. So they have in the insights on Facebook, you can actually see, and this is when you're doing it on your business page, you can actually see how long people listen to your video. Like you can see when they stop. When I was doing one of my videos, I noticed that people were stopping at 17 seconds, and I had put something out there that made them. It popped up and said, "Click here to buy." Well, they never clicked at it buy because it was a 3-minute video, and I put that pop up in the last few seconds of the video. People never saw that. So when I noticed that people stopped looking at the video at 17 seconds, I had to go in and move that pop up to be 15 seconds. So just before they got rid of me, they actually saw the pop up. So you have to think about what your audience, and you have to know how those metrics are. But there are definitely things like leads get you customers, so understanding how leads work, and so understanding how people will sign up to be leads, like getting their email address and getting their first, at least their first name. You can get their first name, their last name, and their email address, and their phone numbers if you're going to use it. But the rule of thumb is do not ask your customers for anything that you're not going to use. So therefore, even when you're trying to get information from your customers, make sure everything that you get from them you plan on using some way, somehow. So social media marketing, again, this is from 2015, so the data is old, but it talks about the hours of social media marketing, and it goes by the different ages, right? So my age is the 60 and above, And you see very few of us are on there for an hour to 5 hours back in 2015. I am not uh, I am not one of the people like this. And if you want to learn more about social media, go ahead and join Social Media Examiner. Like, that's a great place to learn how to do social media marketing. If you haven't joined them already, go to social media editor, excuse me, socialmediaexaminer.com. That's a great place. But they put these slides together, and you can see that the 20-year-olds and the ones in the 40-year-olds do a lot more than the rest of us. The people in the 50 to 59-year-olds, I'm still probably right there, even though I'm 60. I act more like them in the 1 to 10 hours. And then you can see that some people do like more than 40 hours a week, right? And this is weekly average, right? So I'm probably in that more than 40 hours at times, but for the most part, I'm somewhere in the middle. But just this is just to give you how many hours of social media that by age group people use. Tools you can use. So if you have a website, then you need to have Google Analytics on your website. The Google Analytics will help you to see who's coming, where they're coming from, how they're coming, what they're looking at, what pages they're finding interesting. And when you understand these things in the background of who's coming, where they come, whether they're male or female, what their ages are, you can understand how to market to them. So understanding these analytics helps you to identify your customer. It helps you to check the activity on your posts and pages. It helps you to see what's working and what's not. So if something's not working, you understand if you need to tweak it or even get rid of it. And then discover ways to improve your product and service ads, because you can see what's drawing attention. You can use things like Buffer and Hootsuite. Remember, I was telling you that you didn't need to be on every social media platform. But if you're one of those people who feel like you do need to, then you can use Buffer and Hootsuite to do multi-posting. That means you post on more of the platforms at one time rather than having to post on each and every one of them singularly. And both of them have a free service, but they also have paid service for advanced. If you want to get to the pro tools, they also have a paid service, and you can also use them to schedule a post, right? And then you can go to getapp.com, provides alternative softwares and apps. That's a good place to go look and see what's all out there and see if you can find the tool that you need. Also, MailChimp. So I have MailChimp and MailMunch are two different platforms that do the same thing. But if you're talking about being in business, you need to build an email list, because there are studies now that show that 30 to 40% of your revenue can come from off your mail list, your email list. People on your email list will contact you and want to do business with you. I've experienced that myself. So you can understand that when you're holding conversations on email, like I know we say, I get too many emails, but most people, if your email grabs their attention, if they can't see it now, they'll save that email to go back to it. And that's that way that you're actually marketing to them when they're ready for it, as opposed to forcing them to look at your marketing in any of the other resources. Also, hashtags, right? Branding. You can create a hashtag. You can actually register hashtags at 12s.com. I have a few out there myself, but hashtags make you searchable. So when you see me posting, you see me putting the business plug or all those different hashtags, that's because at any point I can look and search on hashtag the business plug and see who all's posting that, see what they're talking about, use that information in my engagement, use that information when I'm trying to create ads. What are people saying? So making hashtags a part of your business is a good thing. And let's talk about creative quotes. So I still have my Insta quote. Word Up is out of business. They're gone. And I think Instamag is gone too. And Moments is no longer. So none of these. So let's just go right through that slide. Insta quote is the only thing on there still working. And web page. So when you buy a web page, when you create a web page, I want you to think creatively. Like, who are you? Like, if I had been smart when I first started doing the business plug, I would have bought the businessplug.com, but I didn't. And because I didn't, somebody else did, and now they want to sell it to me for $15,000, and you know that's not happening. But think about that. Think about what it is that is out there, and try to get a URL that you can use that's creative, that has your sorry that has your name in it, or your mantra, or something that makes you memorable. Think creatively. Like I use lsmbbusinesssolutions.com. I have lindamurraybullock.com. I have lsmbbusinesssolutions.org. I have the businessplug.co. I have I have a lot of them, but I just go out and buy them because you never know when you need them. So the businessplug.co is one of mine that I use on my sales funnel. So yeah, so think about that. Think about, and if you have a page, you need the way to structure a page is to have these things on it. So you want to have your about page, you want to have the product, you want to have videos out there, you want to have your live feed from your social media, you want to have any certifications, anything that gives you credit. You want to be able for your customers to book you and sell, to buy from you. You want to have those functions there. You want to also be able to receive payments. So you want to make sure those few areas there are on, even if you just have a landing page, you want to make sure that all of those things right there are there so your customers can see you. So, social media importance. Again, Twitter has failed down some. I would replace, everywhere you see Twitter on here, I would replace that with TikTok. But these are the premier social media outlets that are out there. And there's several more. This is in 2015 again. So you know by now there are several more out there. But still in the top ranking, YouTube has come up from where it is. Instagram is probably number 2 right now. LinkedIn is probably 3, and TikTok is probably 4, and then you move everything else downward. But yeah, but this is what it was in 2015, and I'm sure if I went and updated that today, it would have been very different. So let's talk about Twitter, because even though this is from 2015, there are certain things about Twitter that hadn't changed. And so let's talk about that. Hashtags are still searchable. So you want to register your hashtag. You definitely want to use them when you're on Twitter. You want to be strategic in how you use it. Find people who are doing what you're doing. See who follows them, and then reach out to the people that follow them. That's what one thing that's good about Twitter is you can see who's following everybody, and you can find out who you want to follow based on who's following them, right? And reply to with followers and retweets. Make sure that you're sharing, retweeting, they call it. Make sure you're sharing other people's information. Make sure that you can go to tweet live events. They still have those. You can also connect your Facebook to your Twitter. Like I hardly ever go to Twitter, but my but my Facebook posts to Twitter, so that way it still looks like I'm out there active. But I rarely, very rarely go to Twitter, unless I get a notice that somebody's put something that I'm interested in. I hardly ever go to Twitter, but you can use that URL to connect the two. The quality is king. Don't think about quantity. Like some people post all day, every day. When I post on Facebook, I post to Twitter. Like I have one for my business and one for personal. And the one for my business posts from my business page. The one from my personal page posts to my personal on Twitter. And back then it was 79% of Fortune 500 were on Twitter. But you can best believe it's 83% now. They're all on LinkedIn. Also, join Twitter chats that are related to your business. They still have those. So join Twitter chats that are available out there. Pinterest. So Pinterest, if you can put it, and Pinterest has added video. So back in 2015, they didn't have video, but they do have video now. And they do good visuals such as products, images, training, educational information. You can create separate boards for every product. You can repin for other people's boards, especially group boards. You can make comments. You can do likes, and be sure to check all the links before sharing, because some of the links are spam, so you don't want to be guilty of that. Join related group boards, and then keep your profile updated. Also, Pinterest is the cheapest way to advertise. Like if you have pictures of video that you would like to share, and these are short video, not long ones. Pinterest is the most undiscovered place that you could do your marketing for your business. So consider using Pinterest. Instagram. So Instagram is about popping. Instagram is almost, they were purchased by Facebook, and so they're just like Facebook. I mean, they're popping. You connections that you can get on Instagram are phenomenal. If you have artwork, if you have products, if you can have post sayings, anything, because just like Facebook, Instagram has video. So you can do Instagram TV and create your own show on Instagram, and people will find you from everywhere. You can show how your product works. You can do behind the scenes. You can show how you made your product. You can do previews about new products. You can have photos of you and celebrities holding your product, or celebrities saying something about you, or introduce yourself and your team. You can post events that you've attended. You can showcase where you are. You can showcase your workplace. You can showcase anything, but just think visual arts. Instagram is visual arts, and they have blown up. So they are probably number two, right behind their other owner, Facebook. So LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is a professional site. It used to be real sterile, but LinkedIn kind of gotten in the groove with everybody else. And they actually have LinkedIn Live now, which I have access to that. But you can think about LinkedIn. You can post videos on LinkedIn. You can post artwork. You can post blogs. You can create articles on LinkedIn. There's a lot of ways that you can get known on LinkedIn. And when I told you 83% of decision makers, like, don't think limited to, I'm only talking to consumer, business to consumer. You can do business to business out there. Like I applied for some government contracts and found that some of the people that work for the department that I was trying to get the contract are on LinkedIn. So I linked up with them. You can think about how can you move forward and expand your business in this online era that we're in. You have to think of innovative ways and think about high-end clients. Most of the clients on LinkedIn can afford to pay you at the rate that you're charging. So if you're not shopping on LinkedIn, if you're not connecting with people on LinkedIn, you are missing out. Decision makers are on LinkedIn. So please go there because you're a business owner now and you need to talk to other CEOs. Create an article, right? And you can post it on LinkedIn, but also post it on your website, because you, in any of this, you don't want this to go down and everything that you've worked hard for disappears. Make sure that you're posting things where you can maintain the ownership of them. Just in case one day somebody decides to pull the plug, you don't want all your information to be gone. So make sure that you're saving your information on a website or saving it on something that you yourself own for the so that for that reason, if no other. Okay? So LinkedIn is great to have. Facebook, what can I say about Facebook? So Facebook, you all know, is on and popping with the updates and the lives and many things that you can do on Facebook. So you want to share posts from major businesses in your industry. You want to seem like you are an authority and that you're connected with all the authoritative references in your industry. So consider that. Consider doing live feeds. Like I would love when people go on live. That's why I do Teach Us Tuesdays in my group, is because I want people to understand about live, about getting familiar with the camera in your face and having conversations like this where you can learn and teach people about different things. I want you to get comfortable enough that it just rolls off your tongue. And what happens is you doing this, people may call you in because they'll think, create your fan page and do it on your fan page. That's how speakers get picked. Like somebody will run across a speaker doing a great speech and hire them. And consider you can make tens of thousands of dollars doing public speaking. So consider that as one of your options as far as one of the things your business offers. Also, make sure your posts are no different from your brand, right? So can the profanity, make sure that you're being professional. Once you become a business owner, you should be professional anyway. And unless you run a club Don't put club pics on a business page, right? There's a place for time and place for everything. We learned that in the scriptures. So make sure that you're not putting anything that's going to be derogatory to your customers. Once you're a business owner, you're on a whole different level anyway. So make sure that that's the level that you're doing on your personal page as well as on your business page. Monitor your friends who post on your page because sometimes people can tag you in some janky stuff. So make sure that, I make sure before anybody posts anything on my page about me, I see it first. I have to approve it. And so before you may see it floating around on the internet, but you won't see it floating around on my page because I have to approve everything that comes on my page. I don't trust people. I have trust issues. So I guess that's what it is. I have trust issues, especially when people post it on my page. And people tag me all the time, and I can't stand it. So I make sure that I see it before it goes to my page. So monitor your friends' posts. Use the blog feature. There's a blog feature. There's a scheduling feature. You know, and the ads used to be relatively inexpensive, but honey, since 2015, those ads have went up significantly. However, during COVID, they actually went down on their ads because there were so many people using them. So you can narrow the distribution of your target audience. I love how you can do it, and make sure you use the Facebook features such as reposting. So yeah, so Facebook is great too, and then Periscope and YouTube. So catch.me is no longer there, but when it was there, you used to could do your Periscopes and then save them to Catch Me, and it would hold your video for you. But now you can just download them to YouTube or upload them to YouTube. And YouTube, if you don't have a YouTube channel, get one. You need to start creating a YouTube channel again so people can learn about the behind the scenes, get to know you visually, and you can talk through things. You can do customer interviews. You can do all kind of things with video. Again, video is attractive, and you only need your phone. You don't have to get some wide, some professional camera or whatever. If you look at the videos that go viral, they're just everyday videos. They're not professional videos. People can see. It's like people have turned against the whole professionalism of things, and they're more wanting people to do just be normal, right? They want to know that they're talking to normal men and women, and then you can save those videos to your phone. So blogging, if you're going to blog, you can go to blog.com and start you a blog and just start talking about your industry and start talking about important things that affect your industry and what you're doing in your business and the thoughts you have around somebody starting up a business like yours. What do they need to know from you, and how can you share and give value? All of this is about giving value. That's the one thing that I don't care where you're posting that you need to be consistent in. You need to understand how to give value. And the final thing is TikTok. So TikTok, TikTok, it started off as a young people's thing, but we always taking over the young people's thing. But TikTok is a way that you can do like a 1 minute video of something funny or introducing your brand. It has a comic light kind of feel, like for laughs and easy living, and it's not really that serious. It's kind of childlike. So if you're going to use TikTok for your advertising, just remember that you want to put something humorous. It's short. It is, again, helping to know, like, and trust you. But it's another way of keeping yourself in front of mind, right? You want to be in front of mind for your customers, your young people. They have parents that they show them to. So don't just think it's for the young people. But yeah, but use all of social media that's out there. And the benefits have not changed. You can increase your exposure, you increase your traffic, you develop loyal friends, you provide marketing insight, you generate leads, and leads lead to sales, right? You improve social ranking, you can grow your business partnerships, you can establish to be a thought leader, you can improve your sales, and you can reduce your marketing expense simply by using the benefits of going online and doing some different things about your business and sharing with your customers. We had Joey, a few weeks ago, and Joey talked about the customer journey. So help bring your customers in on the customer journey so they'll know what to expect when they're working with you. But this is my presentation on showing you guys about social media. And so it is what it is. And I told you I was going to bring it to you. So I thought I would do it today since I didn't do it yesterday. I kind of ran out of time. Thanks, hon. Thanks, hon. Uh, Susan, thank you so much. But yeah, but if you want to get out there, if you want people to know who you are and what you're doing, you need to get a presence on social media. You need to start letting people know you're out there. It is